Hey, I'm going to read a bunch of Emily Dickinson poems because I'm trying to read 1,000 poems this year. Not entirely sure why, other than, poetry's a lovely thing. And sometimes you just need lovely things in your life. So I'm going to share some of those lovely things with you. I'm going to read a bunch from this anthology, starting at number 71, and I will put the list of titles and the timestamps in the description box. And there will be at least one that I will link separately because it'll be a separate solo video in this little collection. So anyway, I'm at 71. See how many we get to. The judge is like an owl, I've heard my father tell, and owls do build in oak. So here's an amber still that slanted in my path when going to the barn. And if it serve you for a house, itself is not in vain. About the price 'tis small, I only ask to tune at midnight. Let the owl select his favorite refrain. Interesting. I wonder how often I guess piano was pretty common back then. I gotta check when Dickinson was around, actually. Anyway. What am I doing? 72. One of the ones that Midas touched, who failed to touch us all, was that confiding prodigal, the reeling Oriole. So drunk he disavows it with badinage divine. Badinage? Oh, I'm probably too tired. So dazzling we mistake him for an alighting mine, a pleader, a dissembler, an epicure, a thief, bedtimes, an oratorio, an ecstasy in chief. The Jesuit of orchards he cheats as he enchants, of an entire attar for his decamping wants. The splendor of the Burma, the meteor of birds, departing like a pageant of ballads and of bards. I never thought that Jason sought for any golden fleece, but then I am a rural man with thoughts that make of peace. But if there were a Jason, tradition, bear with me, behold his lost aggrandizement upon the apple tree. I quite like that. It's still very Dickinson, but it's also like a bit more, like more structured, like a more forward and more. It's not just kind of a bunch of words that are like floating around in her head and, birds and rabbits that she sights in the garden or something. 73, I'm going to do separately, so I'll link it. 74. The robin for the crumb returns no syllable, but long records the lady's name in silver chronicle. Not much on that one. How's my hair? Is it looking okay? Cousin It-esque? I got the giggles tonight, anyway. 75. Upon his saddle sprung a bird, and crossed 1,000 trees. Before a fence without a fare, his fantasy did please. And then he lifted up his throat, and squandered such a note, a universe that overheard is stricken by it yet. So many birds. It's kind of cool. Aren't we all just birds wanting to sing in the garden, in the rain, in the sun, wherever. All right, 76. To hear an Oriole sing may be a common thing, or only a divine. It is not of the bird who sings the same unheard as unto crowd. The fashion of the ear attireth that it hear in dun or fair. So whether it be rune or whether it be none, is of within. The tune is in the tree. Yes, the skeptic showeth me, no, sir, in thee. I gotta write that down. The tune is in the tree. I feel like I'm sounding like an idiot. Anyway, which is not a bad thing. And why I read poetry. 77. The birds began at 4 o'clock. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Their period for dawn, a music numerous as space, but neighbouring as noon. I could not count their force. Their voices did expend, as brook by brook bestows itself to multiply the pond. Their witnesses were not exception occasional man, in homely industry arrayed, to overtake the morn. Nor was it for applause that I could ascertain, but independent ecstasy of deity and men. By 6 the flood had done. No tumult there had been of dressing or departure, and yet the band was gone. The sun engrossed the east. The day controlled the world, the miracle that introduced, forgotten and fulfilled. It's quite lovely as well, isn't it? Sunrises are pretty special. I see them most mornings. We're lucky we have this really nice outlook from our house. And I have a beautiful tree in my backyard that lights up when the east sun rises. Okay, I'll do a couple more and then call it a night because I'm in a headspace. 78. At 3:30, a single bird unto the silent sky propounded but a single term of cautious melody. That doesn't rhyme. At 4:30, experiment had subjugated test, and lo, her silver principle supplanted all the rest. At 7:30, element nor implement be seen, and place was where the presence was, circumference in between. That's what I have to sit with, so I'll try to do that at some point. Alright. 79. She stocked her feathers, gained an arc, debated, rose again, this time beyond the estimate of envy or of men. And now, among circumference, her steady boat be seen, at home among the billows, as the bow where she was born. All right. Last one. 80. One joy of so much anguish sweet nature has for me, I shun it as I do despair. Or dear iniquity, why birds a summer morning before the quick of day should stab my ravished spirit with dirks of melody, is a part of an inquiry that will receive reply when flesh and spirit sunder in death's immediately. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that for tonight. That's just what I needed. Lots of bird poems and tree poems. Alright. Hope you liked it.